Strife Hijinks of 2021 event by Colton Dennis. Crowd cheering. Hello everyone and welcome to Strife Hijinks. Tonight we have 5 matches in store for you. And they all are number 1 contender matches for the titles. I can't wait to see who becomes the new number 1 contender tonight, said announcer number 1. Me either. Especially since over the weekend, we had a quiet event. And we had a triple threat match between Bullet, Clobber, and Hazard, where Bullet retained his title, said announcer number 2. That was a great match over the weekend. And now let's start with number 1 contender match for the Ladies' Championship, said announcer number 1. Beldings. This match is scheduled for 1 fall. Is a number 1 contenders match for the Ladies' Championship. Introducing the competitors, Divine and her opponent, Elastic, said announcer number 3. Beldings. Both Divine and Elastic lock up. Divine puts a headlock onto Elastic. Elastic bounces Divine off ropes, pushes her, grabs her hair, then pulls her into her own headlock. Oh, what a nice move by Elastic, said announcer number 2. It definitely was, said announcer number 1. Divine bounces Elastic off the ropes, pushes her, grabs her hair, then pulls her to the mat. Elastic groaning. That was a page out of Elastic's book, said announcer number 2. Never really seen Divine do that to another superstar, said announcer number 1. Divine kicks Elastic a few times, grabs her head, picks her up, then bounces her off the turnbuckle. Elastic groans. Divine does side kicks to Elastic's side. Elastic groaning. Divine runs to the opposite corner, then runs towards Elastic. Elastic lifts Divine over the top rope. Divine lands onto the ledge of the ring. Elastic punches Divine a few times, then grabs her hair. Divine grabs Elastic's arm, then hangs it off the top rope. Elastic falls onto the mat, then holds her right arm. Another nice move by Divine. She's really looking good here tonight, said announcer number 2. That she is, and now she's heading to the top rope, said announcer number 1. Divine appears on top rope, jumps off, does a crossbody onto Elastic, then covers her. 1, 2. Elastic kicks out. 2, said referee number 1. Divine grabs Elastic's head, then slowly picks her up. Elastic grabs Divine's head, then does a jawbreaker. Divine falls onto the mat. Elastic slowly stands up, then continuously clotheslines Divine. Divine rolls outside of the ring, then slowly walks around it. Elastic, watching Divine, bounces off ropes, then does a suicide dive onto her. Oh man, did you just see that? How many ladies do you know would jump through the ropes? Asked announcer number 1. Not many. Hopefully they're all right, said announcer number 2. Elastic stands up, grabs Divine's head, throws her into the ring, slides inside, then covers her. 1, 2. Divine kicks out. 2, said referee number 1. Elastic goes through the middle ropes, then climbs up the turnbuckle. Divine stands up, then bounces onto ropes. Elastic falls onto the top turnbuckle. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Divine sure got lucky, said announcer number 1. That she did. And now Divine's going up to meet Elastic, said announcer number 2. Divine sets Elastic up for a suplex. Elastic punching Divine's left side, lifts her, then does a front suplex. Divine lands face first onto the mat, groans, then slowly stands up. Elastic puts her feet onto the second rope, grabs Divine's head, then wraps her arms through the rope. Hey, come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Elastic lets go of Divine. You need to be careful, said referee. Number 1. Elastic slides into the ring. Divine slowly standing up, then turns around. Elastic kicks. Divine's stomach. Divine falls onto her left knee. Elastic wraps her arms around Divine, then locks. In an abdominal stretch. Oh. Elastic has Divine in her submission, and quat. Elastic stretch, and quat. Said announcer number 2. Let's see if Divine will tap or hold on, said announcer number 1. Divine groaning. Raises her hand, then makes a fist. Elastic tightens, then submission. Divine groans, continuously. Elbows Elastic's legs, breaks hold, then does a hip toss onto her. Oh, Divine made it out of the hold, said announcer number 2. Divine groaning, then walks towards the corner. Elastic sees Divine in the corner, runs, jumps at her, then her knees go into her chest. Divine falls into the corner. Elastic slowly picks up Divine into the corner, climbs to the second rope, then starts punching her. Crowd counting. Elastic stops at 9, raises her hand, then smiles. Divine picks up Elastic. Whoa, said Elastic. Divine walking, then powerbombs Elastic. Elastic groaning. Divine slowly stands up, grabs Elastic's head, picks her up, sets her up, lifts her, does another powerbomb, then covers her. 1, 2, 3. Ring the bell, said referee number 1. Bell dings. Here's your winner and number 1 contender for the Ladies' Championship, Divine, said announcer number 3. Divine gets her right arm raised. Both Elastic and Divine are staring at each other. Elastic nods at Divine, then rolls out of the ring. Divine, smiling, walks towards the corner, climbs onto the second rope, then raises her arm. Crowd cheering. Bullet appears backstage. Bullet. What are you doing here, man? You don't have a match tonight, said James. Actually, that's why I wanted to talk to you. I know you have all these number 1 contender matches tonight, but I want to tell you, I want to fight the best, and to fight the best, you need to beat the best. And I was thinking, to become the number 1 contender for my title, I want that person to fight me one-on-one, to earn their shot. So tonight, I'm competing. So whoever you chose is my opponent. And if he beats me in our match tonight, he becomes number 1 contender. I just want to be fair, said Bullet. You know what? You've got yourself a deal. Tonight, you'll fight an opponent of my choosing. And if he wins, he'll be your number 1 contender, said James. Fair enough for me, said Bullet smiling. Bell dings. This match is scheduled for 1 fall, and is a number 1 contenders match for the Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers. First Swagger and the Crippler. And their opponents. Digger and Suave, said announcer number 3. Bell sings. Swagger and Digger lock up. Digger puts Swagger into a headlock. Swagger bounces Digger off the ropes, pushes him, then does a shoulder block. Digger stands up, then pushes Swagger. You want to do that to me? You bastard, said Digger, slapping Swagger. Swagger tackles Digger. Both Digger and Swagger are rolling around the ring. Referee number 2 breaking Digger and Swagger up. Swagger stands up. Digger runs at Swagger, then tackles him through the middle ropes. Both Digger and Swagger land onto the floor, then groans. Both Suave and the Crippler are walking towards their partners. Both Digger and Swagger stand up. Come on, you bastard, said Swagger. Hey, 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 you two get into the ring. You two back to your corners. Now, let's go. Inside the ring. Both Digger and Swagger slide inside the ring, then stare at each other. Swagger steps towards Digger. Digger steps backwards, then tags in Suave. Suave gets into the ring, then runs at Swagger. Swagger continuously clotheslines Suave, grabs his arm, then whips him into the corner. Suave groans. Swagger runs at Suave. Suave boots Swagger. Swagger grains the walks away. Suave jumps onto the second rope. Swagger turns around. Suave jumps off the second rope. Dropkicks Swagger, then covers him. 1, 2. Swagger kicks out. 2, said referee number 2. That was a close one by Suave, said announcer number 2. Yeah, these men must really hate each other, said announcer number 1. Suave bounces Swagger off ropes, then dropkicks him again. Hey, let me have him, said Digger, holding out his right hand. Suave tags Digger's right hand. Digger goes through the middle rope, starts kicking Swagger, grabs his head, then bounces him off the turnbuckle. Swagger gets his chest chopped, then groans. Crowd booing. Digger whips Swagger into the opposite corner, smiles, looks, then runs towards him. Swagger quickly moves out of the way. Digger goes into the corner. Swagger bounces off ropes, then shoulder blocks Digger's left leg. Digger flips onto the mat, groans, then holds his left leg. Swagger stands up, then tags the crippler's left hand. The crippler goes through the middle rope, then starts kicking Digger's leg. Now that's a great idea. Attack the area of the wounded person, said announcer number 2. That's how you win matches, said announcer number 1. The crippler grabs Digger's left leg, then puts him into a half Boston crab. Digger groaning. Suave goes through the middle rope, then dropkicks the crippler in the back of his head. Hey, get out of the ring, said referee number 2. Swagger runs, then punches Suave. Suave rolls out of the ring. Get out of the ring, Swagger, said referee number 2. Suave peeking into the ring, then slide a pair of brass knuckles to Digger. Digger hides brass knuckles. Suave pulls out a steel chair, then slides into the ring. Swagger moves referee number 2, then boots Suave. The steel chair goes into Suave's face. Suave rolls out of the ring. Swagger goes through middle ropes, then starts kicking Suave. Referee number 2 grabs the steel chair, then throws it out of the ring. Digger sees referee number 2's back is turned, then looks at the crippler. The crippler turns around, then gets hit with the brass knuckles. Digger throws brass knuckles out of the ring, then covers the crippler. Referee number 2 looks. 1, 2, 3. Ring the bell, said referee number 2. Bell dings. Here's your winners, a number 1 contender for the tag team champions, Digger and Suave, said announcer number 3. Both Digger and Suave are walking up the ramp, cheering. Swagger kneeling next to the crippler. Well, you might not like how they won, but they are now number 1 contenders, said announcer number 1. Yeah, people shouldn't cheat to win, said announcer number 2. Well, up next, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 contender for the U.S. Continental Championship will be decided in a fatal 4-way match. I can't wait for this one, said announcer number 1. Me either, said announcer number 2. Bell dings. This match is scheduled for 1 fall and is a fatal 4-way match for the number 1 contender for the U.S. Continental Championship. Introducing the competitors. Ghost, the Archetype, Jester, and the Gorilla, said announce number 3. Bell dings. All 4 men are attacking each other. The Gorilla grabs Ghost, then throws him across the ring. Ghost lands onto the mat, then rolls out of the ring. Jester punches the Gorilla. The Gorilla pushes Jester. Jester goes through middle Ropes. The archetype dropkicks the gorilla. The gorilla staggers backwards, bounces off ropes then. Shoulder tackles the archetype. The archetype rolls out of the ring. All three are staring at the gorilla. Well, this might be a good idea for the other three competitors, said announcer number 2. But will it work though? Asked announcer number 1. All three slide into the ring then start attacking the gorilla. The gorilla being pushed into ropes then pushes both Jester and the archetype. Ghost continues punching the gorilla, runs then bounces off ropes on the opposite side of the ring. The gorilla runs then clotheslines Ghost. Ghost flips, lands face first onto the mat then rolls out of the ring. Both Jester and the archetype are attacking the gorilla. The gorilla pushes both Jester and the archetype again. Both Jester and the archetype fall onto the mat, roll outside the ring. Then look at each other. Come on, said the gorilla. Both Jester and the archetype smile. Slide inside the ring then run at the gorilla. The gorilla double clotheslines both Jester and the archetype. Ghost appears on the top rope, jumps off then goes for a crossbody on the gorilla. The gorilla catches Ghost in his arms. Oh man, look at the strength of the gorilla, said announcer number 1. It's unbelievable. The gorilla looks, sees both Jester and the archetype standing up then lifts Ghost over his head. Both Jester and the archetype turn around. The gorilla throws Ghost onto both Jester and the archetype. All three rolling out of the ring. The gorilla smiling then goes through the middle ropes. He's coming over this way, said announcer number 2. The gorilla grabs the archetype's head, picks him up then bounces him off the announce table. The archetype falls onto the floor. Jester appears on the ledge of the ring then jumps onto the gorilla's back. The gorilla trying to grab Jester, walks towards the ring post then rams him into it. Jester falls off the gorilla's back. Who's the dominant wrestler? I am, said the gorilla walking. Ghost appears then jumps onto the gorilla's back. Why would Ghost do that? Didn't he see what happened to Jester? Asked announcer number 2. Some people try other ways to at least bring them down, said announcer number 1. The gorilla trying to shake Ghost off his back, looks up then runs. What's he doing? Asked announcer number 2. The gorilla turns around then goes through the barricade with Ghost. Oh, Ghost just got crushed by the gorilla. I bet that'll be the only time they get the gorilla off his feet tonight, said announcer number 2. The gorilla stands up then yells. The archetype starts punching the gorilla. The gorilla grabs the archetype then head butts him. The archetype falls onto the floor. The gorilla grabs the archetype, then throws him through middle ropes. The archetype lands inside the ring. Man, now that's strength, said announcer number 1. The gorilla slides into the ring then sees the archetype slowly standing up. The archetype turns around. The gorilla lifts the archetype onto his shoulders, does a Samoan drop then covers him. 1, 2. The archetype kicks out. 2, said referee number 3. The gorilla stands up, bounces off ropes, jumps up then does a body splash onto the archetype. He's out. He's done. No one can stop me, said the gorilla. Crowd cheering. The gorilla stands up then looks up at the ramp. Hellfire appears standing on the ramp. Both Hellfire and the gorilla are staring at each other. The gorilla smiles then goes through the middle ropes. Hellfire continues staring at the gorilla. The gorilla gets off the ledge of the ring then slowly walks towards Hellfire. Jester appears on the ledge of the ring on the opposite side of it, jumps up, does a springboard frog. splash onto the archetype, then covers him. 1, 2. The gorilla looks back at the ring, then runs towards it. 3. Ring the bell, said referee number 3. Bell dings. The gorilla slides into the ring. Both jester and referee number 3 roll out of the ring. Here's your winner and number 1 contender for the U.S. Continental Championship, jester, said announce number 3. The gorilla stares at Hellfire. Hellfire, laughing, then walks up the ramp. Well, a match where the gorilla dominated. But he put his ego first and tried to have Hellfire kinda disqualify himself, said announce number 1. Well, the gorilla shouldn't have taken his eye off the ball. But that's what happens when you put your ego first, said announcer number 2. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to number 1 contender for the mixed gender tag team championships. Now, last week, the Hood and the Jackal really got into it. And trust me, Jackal really wants the Hood, said announce number 1. I don't blame him. Sneak attacking as the match began, said announcer number 2. Bell dings. This match is scheduled for one fall and is a number 1 contenders match for the mixed gender tag team championship. Introducing the competitors, King and Karma and their opponents, the Stalker and Hope, said announce number 3. Bell dings. Both Hope and Karma lock up. Karma pushes Hope. Hope falls onto the mat, then stares at Karma. Come on. Hope stands up. Both Hope and Karma lock up again. Karma pushes Hope down. Hope lands onto the mat, then groans. Get up, come on, said Karma. Hope stands up, then goes for another lockup. Karma moves Hope out of the way, then raises her hands. Crowd booing. Hope stares at Karma. Hope, it's all right. Just do what I taught you, said the Stalker. Hope nods her head. Both Hope and Karma lock up again. Karma pushes Hope onto the mat. Hope wraps her legs around Karma. Karma falls onto the mat. Hope puts a headlock onto Karma. Karma slowly stands up, lifts Hope, then does a back suplex. Hope groans. Karma punching Hope. Hey, 1, 2, 3, said referee number 4. Karma looks at referee number 4. Don't touch me, said Karma. Picking up Hope, then puts her into the corner. Hope gets her chest chopped, falls onto the mat, then groans. Karma, smiling, picks up Hope, bounces her off ropes, then bends over. Hope kicks Karma's chest. Karma groans, looks at Hope, then runs at her. Hope moves out of the way. Karma goes through the middle ropes, then lands onto the floor. King walking on the ledge of the ring. Come on, Karma. Come on, said King. Hope tags in the Stalker. The Stalker gets into the ring, runs, grabs King, then throws him over the top rope. King lands onto the mat, then groans. The Stalker picks up King, walks towards the corner, then bounces his head off the turnbuckle. King, groaning, gets whipped hard into the opposite corner, then falls onto the mat. The Stalker picks up King, lifts, then places him into the corner. King falls onto the mat. The Stalker raises his arms. Crowd cheering. The Stalker looks, sees King standing up, runs, then elbows him in his head. King falls to the mat. The Stalker waves his arms. Karma slides into the ring, then pushes the Stalker from behind. The Stalker turns around, then stares at Karma. Come on, you bastard. Come on, said Karma. The Stalker, smiling. Hope appears on the top rope. The Stalker points. Karma turns around. Hope jumps off, then does a crossbody onto Karma. Both Hope and Karma roll out of the ring. King rolls up the Stalker. 1, 2. The Stalker kicks out. 2. The Stalker stands up, then kicks King in his stomach, points. Up then wraps his arms around his waist. The Hood appears jumping over the barricade, slides into the ring holding a steel chair, stands up then swings it. The steel chair hits the stalker's back. The stalker falls onto the mat. Ring the bell, said referee number 4. Bell dings. Here's your winners by disqualification. Hope and the stalker, said announce number 3. The Hood looks at the stalker. The stalker turns around then gets hit in the head with the steel chair. King slowly stands up, turns around then gets hit with the steel chair. The Hood looks at Hope and Karma then goes through the middle ropes. Both Hope and Karma run up the ramp. The Hood looks, walks around the ring, stops in front of announcer number 3 then grabs the microphone. The winner ain't the stalker and Hope, or Karma. And King? The number 1 contender for the Mixed Gender Tag Team Championships are the Hood and Twinkle? Now announce it. The Hood holds the microphone in front of announcer number 3. And quat. Announce it. And quat. Yelled the Hood. Ladies and gentlemen, your number 1 contenders for the Mixed Gender Tag Team Championships are the Hood and Twinkle, said announce number 3. The Hood laughing into the microphone. Drops it then walks away laughing. Well, that was a mess of things, said announcer number 1. Why was he even out here? I thought he got suspended, asked announcer number 2. He must have found a way into the building. But if they're number 1 contenders, the Jackal will love it. Just to get his hands onto the Hood, said announcer number 1. And I actually hope he does, said announcer number 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, well, we still have a number 1 contenders match for the global title. But Bullet told Mr. Dennis to be the number 1 contender for his title. You need to beat him one-on-one first, said announcer number 1. I actually like that strategy, because no one should come out here and demand to be number 1 contender, said announcer number 2. Bell dings. This match is scheduled for 1 fall. And if Bullet's opponent wins this match, they'll be number 1 contender for the global championship. Introducing first, in the ring, he is the global champion, Bullet. And his opponent, said announcer number 3. Excuse me, everyone, could I have your attention? I really don't like interrupting. Now Bullet, you said. And quat, you're gonna be a fighting champion, and quat, which I do believe that. But now I looked all over, and everyone wants to fight you to get a chance at that title. Well, I found someone for you. Bullet. Bullet, your opponent tonight is this man, said James pointing. Music playing. The Strangler appears walking down the ramp then towards the ring. And his opponent, the Strangler, said announcer number 3. The Strangler slides into the ring then stares at Bullet. Bullet nods his head. Bell dings. The Strangler goes towards Bullet. Bullet goes underneath the Strangler's right arm then kicks the sides of his legs. The Strangler groaning then pushes Bullet. Bullet rolls backwards onto the mat, stands up, runs then jumps at the Strangler. The Strangler being continuously punched then pushes Bullet off him. Bullet rolls backwards onto the mat, stands up, runs then jumps at the Strangler again. The Strangler moves. Bullet's head goes into the top turnbuckle then falls onto the mat. The Strangler approaches Bullet then elbows him in the back of his neck. Bullet groaning. The Strangler kicks Bullet in his side. Bullet groans then rolls towards the ropes. The Strangler approaches Bullet. Bullet stands up then kicks the Strangler's leg. The Strangler groans then goes to punch Bullet. Bullet ducks then kicks the sides of the Strangler's legs again. The Strangler pushes Bullet. Bullet bounces off ropes. The Stranger lifts Bullet. Bullet reverses it, then does a DDT. The strangler groaning then gets covered. 1, 2. The strangler kicks out. 2. Bullet stands up, goes through the middle ropes, then climbs up the turnbuckle. The strangler stands up, then turns around. Bullet jumps off, does a crossbody onto the strangler, then covers him. 1, 2. The strangler kicks out. 2. Said referee number 5. Wow. Bullet is taking it to the strangler. Tell me, what do you know about the strangler? Asked announcer number 2. Well, he's a magnificent wrestler. He is athletic, can move very fast, and is also a strong person, said announcer number 1. The strangler stands up, then turns around. Bullet dropkicks the strangler. The strangler rolls out of the ring, holds his face, then shakes his head. Bullet, watching the strangler, runs, climbs up the turnbuckle, then does a crossbody onto the strangler. Oh God, what a crossbody by Bullet. He did that to clobber the night he won the title, said announcer number 2. Yeah, but this is actually a different strangler. Usually he's the one dominating. But Bullet is taking it to him, said announcer number 1. Bullet slides the strangler into the ring, climbs onto the ledge of the ring, jumps up, then springboards himself. The strangler moves. Bullet lands face first onto the mat, then groans. The strangler stands up, clotheslines Bullet a few times, lifts, then slams him onto the mat. Bullet groans. The strangler, leaning against ropes, walks towards Bullet, then picks him up. Bullet moves the strangler's arms, then does a jumping knee. The strangler staggers backwards into the ropes. Bullet kicks the sides of the strangler's legs. The strangler, groaning, then walks towards the corner. Bullet climbs onto the second rope, then punches the strangler continuously. Crowd counting. Bullet gets down, runs towards the opposite corner, back at the strangler, then does a corner body splash. The strangler groans. Bullet runs back to the opposite corner, then runs back at the strangler again. The strangler runs at Bullet, then clotheslines him hard. Bullet flips onto the mat, then rolls out of the ring. My God, did you see that clothesline? Asked announcer number 2. I did very well. Maybe this is the strangler's chance, said announcer number 1. The strangler, slowly moving, stands up, looks around, then sees Bullet outside of the ring. Bullet, slowly moving, then stands up. The strangler sticks his head through the middle ropes, then grabs Bullet's head. Bullet moves the strangler's arm, jumps up, then kicks his head. The strangler, groaning, then falls to his knees. Bullet climbs onto the ledge of the ring, watches the strangler, jumps up, does a springboard crossbody onto the strangler, then covers him. 1, 2. The strangler kicks out. 2. Said referee number 5. Bullet picks up the strangler. The strangler punches Bullet's stomach, hits his face with a forearm, then pushes him into ropes. Bullet bounces off ropes, gets lifted, spins, then does another DDT. The strangler, laying in the middle of the ring. Bullet stands up, runs, jumps onto the middle rope, does a springboard moonsault onto the strangler, then covers him. Bullet could have it here, said announcer number 2. 1, 2. The strangler kicks out. 2. Said referee number 5. Oh, that was a close one, said announcer number 2. That it was. Now Bullet must think of a way to put the strangler away, said announcer number 1. Bullet waves at the strangler. Get up. Come on, get up, said Bullet. The strangler slowly stands up. Bullet does a step-up enziguri onto the strangler. The strangler falls onto the mat in the middle of the ring. Bullet looks, runs, jumps onto the middle rope, then goes for a springboard. Moonsault again. The Strangler moves. Bullet lands face first onto the mat, then groans. The Strangler quickly stands up, grabs Bullet, wraps his arm around Bullet, then locks in a dragon sleeper. Oh, what in the world is that kind of submission? Asked announcer number 2. It's his finisher. And quat. The strangling, and quat, said announce number 1. Bullet groaning. The Strangler tightens the submission. Bullet groaning, then taps out. Ring the bell, said referee number 5. Bell dings. Here's your winner by submission. And number 1 contender for the global championship, the Strangler, said announcer number 3. The Strangler lets go of Bullet. Bullet rolling, stops, then holds his neck. The Strangler stands up, then gets his right arm raised. Bullet grabbing the ropes, looks at the Strangler, then slowly stands up. The Strangler looking at Bullet. Bullet stands up, grabs the title, then raises it. You deserve a chance at this. You beat me. Congratulations, said Bullet, lowering the title, then holds out his right hand. The Strangler looks at Bullet's right hand, smiles, nods. His head then goes through the middle ropes. Well, what a show of respect for each man, said announcer number 1. Well, next time these two meet, it'll be for the global championship. I can't wait for that match. Well, folks, I want to thank you for watching. Be safe out there and good night, said announcer number 1. Bye-bye, said announcer number 2, waving. Both Bullet and the Strangler are staring at each other. Bullet raises the title again. Crowd cheering. The end.